Welcome to the 22nd episode of the Can Learn Library here in the North Battleford Library. Today I'm in the kitchen, but we are not cooking. Today we're going to make a tie-dye face mask because, let's face it, wearing a face mask has become the new norm for everyone, and I just thought if you've got a plain white one, you might want to jazz it up a little bit with some color. Okay, so these are the things that you will need. Okay, you will be needing some face masks. Plain white cotton works the best. You will need a tie-dye kit, which I've taken apart here. This particular kit had 3 different colors, and we're going to add water to them to reconstitute. You're going to need plastic gloves. You're going to need rubber bands and either some plastic wrap or some sealed baggies. And I've got some paper towels to help with the mess. And some of the kits give you a plastic surface to work with. This particular kit did not, so put something plastic under when you're going to be working because it will be messy. Now comes the fun part. Hi. The first thing you will need to do is to dampen your cloths. You don't want to soak them and that they're dripping and whatever, but the dampness helps to absorb the dye. So I've done that ahead of time. Okay, so next we're going to try different designs with your rubber bands. So there's the classic one where you take the middle and it makes like a bullseye or a sunburst. So I'm going to try that with one of them here. So I'm going to just put your rubber band on quite a few times, just depending on how much white you want to show, because whatever the rubber band is on is going to be white. All right, so I've done one on there. Let's see. I could do something with the straps. These particular ones, we had found someone who makes them. So I'm going to try maybe putting the rubber band on them just to give them a little color. All right. So get that on. This is probably the thing that will take you a little bit of time, but once you decide how you want to do it, okay, I guess I better do the other side, otherwise it's going to look kind of weird. Okay, here we go. I'll put rubber band on this side. And the thing is, you can try different ways of putting the elastic bands on. If you want stripes, if you want just a blotchy kind of look, that's where you sort of crumple it up and then just put the rubber bands wherever. So I will put on here some different things that you can try, but just to keep it simple, we'll, let's see. I'm going to put one at the corner here just to see what that's going to look like. All right. And maybe at this end. Now there's lots of kits out there. This particular one has 3 different colors, but you can get a whole range of colors, and of course you can put 2 colors together to make another color. So it all depends on you, but I just thought it would be something cool since we're stuck with the masks, I think, for quite some time yet to be. I thought, well, why not decorate them up? And yeah, I think they're getting pretty stylish. You can buy Superman ones, you can buy all kinds of things on the, I've even seen bookish type ones where you can get ones about a library and all kinds of, it doesn't matter what area it is, they're doing the mask thing. So, okay, I have done this one like this. I'm just gonna go off camera and do the other one, and then we'll get ready to do the actual tie-dye. So I've kind of done the rubber bands onto the masks. Now we're ready to reconstitute our dye. Now this particular kit says to do it right up to the neck of the bottle, and once you've got it in there, you gently rock it back and forth so that the powder has time to dissolve. And they also recommend that you use this dye within 45 minutes because it says that the dye starts to lose its strength. I'm not sure how. I've not tried it to see what happens if you use old dye. So we're going to start fresh. Now, I'm not going to put the gloves on until I'm ready to actually use the dye. So we'll just reconstitute this and get them ready. There we go. I've got yellow, I've got blue, and red. So hopefully some of those colors might run together, or I could try putting two colors together and see what I get. Try to remember what, is it red and green that makes purple? Red and blue. I don't have green anyway, so red and blue, we'll find out. Okay, so we'll just get this mixed up. And I'm going to warn you too, after it sits overnight and you go to rinse off the tie-dye, wear gloves. I didn't do that once and I kind of had to go to work with hands that were dyed. So yeah, when you do rinse, especially when it first starts rinsing, because a lot of color is going to come out. Okay, so just get sure that this is, I'm not sure if it's got that corner. Looks pretty red, doesn't it? Okay, so do the last color and then we'll be ready to put our gloves on and start tie-dyeing. Funny how fads reoccur during a person's lifetime. Like this was big in the 60s and 70s, and then after a while tie-dye was passé, and now again it seems to be making a comeback, and it's just so weird how some of those, of course it's a lot easier now than it was then. You get these reconstituted bottles, easier to get at a lot of things, I'm finding, than when a person was younger. So just make sure that is okay. Time for the gloves. Okay, so we've got our two masks. The only thing I have about these gloves is they're kind of baggy, but they'll work for the course, so we won't end up looking like rainbow hands. Okay, so I think I'm going to try with red. If I can get the lid off. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to gently squirt this, and you'll see that because it's wet, it tends to absorb it a lot better. So I'm doing this one with red, and I'm going to look around and see. Maybe I'll do this area in red. Just kind of jazz it up. Because you think you know how it's going to exactly look, but it's always a surprise when you take off all the bands the next day and, hey, not quite what I want, but I like it. So I'm going to try some yellow next to the red. messy. So like I said, it's good to have plastic or newspaper or something below you. Okay, so there we go. We've got that blue coming on. I'm going to try some blue over here. Even the ties will have a little bit of a color. Let's see, did I get everyone? And if you wanted to mix and match, we could just kind of see what happens. Oh, I think red and blue is sort of a purple. So we'll try that in the middle on that red, just to see. Okay. So depending on how much you put on each area, there, I'm going to just show you that. So once you've got it as much color as you want on it, now you will be putting it, you can use either plastic wrap or a baggie. A baggie works good for this since it's so small, and then it's got to sit 6 to 8 hours for the color to really be vibrant. So into the plastic bag, and then we have to come back and rinse it, and we'll show you kind of how our creation has turned out. See you in 6 to 8 hours. Okay, so I took the elastic bands off of the masks, and I rinsed it in cold water until the dye stops running in the water. And this is how they turned out. The one on the left is where I sort of did like stripes. The one on the right is where I did sort of little bubbles, or what you want to call the bullseye technique. This is how they turned out. So now you need to wash and dry them by themselves in hot water to set the colors. We had a little bit of extra dye, and I also did one of the ones for work because we had different colored ones, and this one was white, and it's a little bit different material, but and the straps of course are different, but this is what it turned out like. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me do this, and I hope you will try it. If you, like the rest of us, have to wear a mask and it's white, try to make it exciting like this. All right, that's all the time we have left. Thank you for watching the Can Learn Library, and we'll see you next time. Take care.